This portion of the news is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Are Americans living longer? And what are they dying from? In a new study, researchers from the American Cancer Society reviewed changes in the overall U.S. death rate, as well as trends in the 6 leading causes of death.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Americans are living longer.
We are making progress in reducing death rate from all causes and leading cause of death.
Dr. Ahmadine Jamal, along with colleagues from the American Cancer Society, used data from the National Center for Health Statistics to examine trends in the overall death rate in the U.S. from 1969 to 2013. They also looked specifically at the 6 leading causes of death.
Overall death rates have decreased by 42 or 43%.
During this time period, death rates continued to decrease for heart disease, cancer, stroke, injuries, and diabetes, although the decrease has slowed during the last 5 years for heart disease, stroke, and diabetes.
The slowdown could be due to the obesity epidemic that has unfolded over the last 3 decades.
On the other hand, deaths from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, doubled.
COPD rates in men increased through the early 1990s. Now it is decreasing. But in women, the COPD rates continued to increase since in 1969.
Dr. Jamal says the difference may result from women starting and stopping smoking later than men.
Cancer has been increasing from 1969 through in 1990, when it peaked. And since in 1990, it has been steadily decreasing because of reduction in tobacco use as well as improvements in early detection.
Although death rates are down, there is still room for improvement. 1 in 5 U.S. adults still smoke and 1 in 3 are obese.
Smoking, obesity, physical inactivity, and bad diet account for about half of the total deaths in the U.S.
Catherine Dolph, The JAMA Report.
Thank you, Catherine. Unintentional injuries such as accidents or drowning increased until the mid-1990s, but have been decreasing during the most recent time period. Former owner of Dream Chaser Horse Rescue was in court today to face arson charges. Diane Davis's home burnt down in 2013 with at least 13 animals inside. Protesters waited outside the court for Davis to arrive this morning. They were upset because the charges had been reduced to arson, leaving out the 13 felony counts for the animals that burnt inside her home.
This is your chance. Murderer! You're a murderer!
According to the Sheriff's Department, there were 13, but in the picture that they took afterward, there were 12 that perished in the house.
That night it was called in as a suicide threat. Can you tell me about that?
I really shouldn't be talking too much about this because obviously the case is still ongoing, but the person who called in the suicide call, I had caught her breaking in my window. She'd taken off a solar screen, pried open my window, and was in the process of trying to climb in the window. And she actually admitted under oath in the preliminary hearing that she did so. And when my dogs wasn't a threat to keep her out, that's when I picked up my gun. But I never pointed it at her. I obviously didn't use it. And I never held it to my head. I had it held up on my shoulder like this.
What would you like these protesters or other people in town to know?
That I've been an animal lover all of my life, that I've lived in Pahrump for 19 years, and that almost 15 of that 19 years I've been involved in animal rescue of one type or another, starting with volunteering at the shelter.
I think that what she's done is absolutely horrible. I grew up in the town of Pahrump my entire life. I did go and I volunteered for her quite about a year, about 2 weeks before the rescue was going down.
So what did you see there?
I saw the fact that the horses were only being fed once a day. I saw animals that were skinny, that were who she was trying to help, and I think it became a rescue to a hoarder.
It's just shocking that so many animals were intentionally burned to death in a fire, and they just decided to drop all those charges as if those lives didn't even matter. Animal cruelty is a first-time felony in Nevada. I authored the law in 2011. It's actually dubbed Cooney's Law, after a dog that was brutally killed by his owner, and it was only a misdemeanor. But the fact is, the law changed. These are felonies, and we heard 17 dogs, but she's been charged with 13 counts. Those 13 counts need to stand.
The crusade, in my opinion, is about not changing the law. Don't treat these kinds of cases less than what they are. It's no different than punishing someone that abuses or tortures a child. They're defenseless. And that's what this is about. The people in Pahrump and Nye County need to have stricter laws, and maybe that would be a deterrent if we really uphold those laws.
Davis did not accept the plea deal of arson and will face all charges, including the felony counts for the animals. Her new court date will be in March of next year. No one was reportedly injured last night in a single vehicle accident off Highway 372. What was first reported as a 3-vehicle accident with a possible rollover was actually a single vehicle accident last night on Charleston Park near Highway 372. It appears that the driver of this vehicle lost control going around the corner approaching Highway 372 at Charleston Park. A pickup truck was attempting to pull the vehicle out of the ditch by a chain when medics and Nye County Sheriff's deputies arrived on scene. No one was injured as a result of this accident, and the car appears to have moderate damage. Nye County Sheriff's deputies directed traffic around the scene while the accident investigation was being conducted. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. And we'll be right back after these messages.